In this film, we'll be looking at the reuse shops that have been set up by Warwickshire Council on 3 of their recycling centres. Reuse has been moving up the agenda in Scotland. For the past 8 years, recycling has been the star of the show, as local authorities have focused on rolling out curbside collections and bring centres. This year, reuse is beginning to come into its own, thanks to the revised Waste Framework Directive and the Zero Waste Plan for Scotland, both of which place an emphasis on moving up the waste hierarchy. Reuse shops on household waste recycling centres are a practical and simple way for local authorities to increase diversion rates. The NACAS toolkit showed that reuse systems could increase reuse rates on sites by 4 to 5% and also recycling rates by up to 5%. This film will provide an insight into how Warwickshire Council developed their innovative reuse shops and, at the same time, created another Stratford-upon-Avon tourist attraction. Warwickshire has a population of just over 500,000 people and a mixture of urban and rural areas. It has 9 household waste recycling centres and a recycling rate of 43%.
Burton Farm Recycling Centre in Stratford was in need of total redevelopment. It was a one-level site. It had steps up to containers. It was a decision whether to close the site, but we opted to redevelop the site instead. That was the ideal opportunity to introduce a reuse facility. The officers had banded together and thought it would be a good opportunity to raise waste awareness issues, get some of the items diverted from landfill, and support a local charity. It was something that we hadn't tried before, introducing a charity or an organisation to run or operate that facility for us. Hunters Lane Recycling Centre is our most recent development. The building there, the steels, the fabrication and the concrete costs in the region of approximately £42,000. We had to persuade charities to get involved, but now that they have seen it a more lucrative business, we have a lot more interest in the tenders now. We have a good advantage at Burton Farm with the design of the site, with the shop being the first port of call, and then we aim for the general waste skip to be the very last container that they visit, so people are hopefully sorting out as much as they can with the help of the advisors rather than going to that last skip. The reuse facility here is ideal for things that are too large to go off to charity shops, so lots of bulky waste items that would normally go off to landfill can be deposited at this shop. So it's really good for a lot of items like chairs and furniture that people would struggle with and would find difficulty wanting to take it to a car boot. In addition to the larger items, there's lots of the small bric-a-brac, so they're very popular with all ranges of materials. The reuse shops are an ideal opportunity to raise waste awareness because they're diverting or reselling 10 tonnes per month at each shop. So we're looking at 30 tonnes per month at each 3 shops, so it's really a good amount of tonnage that they're diverting from landfill. People are having a different outlook. They're thinking about passing things on, they're thinking about getting a bargain from the shop, and also supporting the local charity that they're visiting.
Our clients tend to fall into 2 schools: the ones that like to see everything displayed. So we do have areas. We have areas for glass, electrical goods, kiddies' toys, that sort of thing. But some of them do like that sort of car boot, rummage sale type of feel. So we do occasionally put boxes out so that they can have a rummage around and find bits and pieces that aren't actually on display. What I actually brought with me was experience of working in charity shops, so I kind of had guide prices, but what we've found over the last year is that the marketplace really finds its own level of pricing. We are somewhere in between a car boot and a charity shop. So we wouldn't expect to achieve prices that you would normally achieve in a high street charity shop, but we'd like to think we get a little bit more than you would at a car boot. We do very few minor repairs, but we do minor repairs. Having electrical testing is really a benefit to us, and it's one of our largest sales areas, electrical testing, so I would advise anybody setting it up to set themselves up to be able to do electrical testing, because basically, as I say, that earns us a lot of money.
We have, obviously we have, say, the full-time members of staff, but we have 3 volunteers that volunteer for us regularly. We are looking obviously to make that a lot more because this is a very busy place. We also have community service workers, and they, when they're doing their community service hours, will come and spend time up here and work up here, and that's proved extremely successful.
I've been a volunteer for a number of charities for a good many years, and Age Concern for 5 years, and the tip started, and I saw requests for helpers at the daycare centre, and I thought, well, that sounds interesting. I've worked at other charity shops, and it's good to recycle things into the community. It's not being wasted, which is it's rewarding, yes.
Yeah, it's very handy to drop stuff off, and it's a great idea to raise money for a good local charity. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's very popular with the local community for dropping stuff off that you know that you want to recycle, and also it's thronging with people that want to buy bits and pieces that come to shop and have a look every day. Get some few bargains as well at the same time and raise good money.
It's a great idea. I mean, my young man, he wants a new bike, but £70, £80 plus. We can't afford that at the moment, especially when they're only on their own bikes for maybe 2-3 years at the most. So yeah, I think it's great. We do a lot of recycling, but today it's just solely coming in here to have a look for a bike.
The Shakespeare Hospice, it costs £1.4 million a year to actually run. Of that, the shops take approximately 25 to 30% of the money that we need to run the hospice, and this meets approximately half to 3/4 of that. So we're turning over nearly £250,000 a year here. It is a very big money spinner for the hospice and very important as a money stream.
We run a wanted book mainly because it helps us to maximise the profits. If we can put the client in touch with the item that he's looking for, then obviously it enables us to make money on the transactions. So we run a wanted book, A, to provide a service to the customers, but B, for the profitability.